Hello. I'm going to first apologize that this isn't going to be a very well-planned video. I just realized that it was Saturday and then I hadn't recorded something yet, but I've been really busy and I've had a lot on my mind, so sorry about that. Alright, so the last time that I updated, I did a little mini update the other day. It was to say that I had good news for another interview for a fall internship, and I was really excited about that. Um, but I get there on Friday, and within like 2 minutes of the interview, I can tell that they want someone for the summer. Because one of the first questions he asked me was, like, oh, so you'll be around for the summer? And I thought that was weird, like, why would he be asking me that if it was for a fall internship? And so I asked him, like, oh, so this is for the summer? And he was like, yeah, actually, we decided to take on somebody for the summer, and then the internship will just, like, bleed over into the fall. And, anyways, so I didn't say anything, like, about already having a summer internship because, I mean, I wasn't going to, like, not interview with, this place that's, like, my dream job. So I did that, and the interview went really well. I know I'm saying all this with, like, this defeated tone. But, now I'm in this position where I feel like really bad because I already accepted the position with the other place. And, I mean, but granted, I haven't gotten an offer from this one in my city, so I guess I shouldn't worry yet. But I'm just thinking ahead of, like, if I do get an offer, what will I do, Because the good thing about the one that I just interviewed for is that it's paid. And I mean, that's like a really big deal for me right now at this position in my life where I have so many loans and everything. And another thing is that it would carry over into a fall internship and possibly a spring internship and possibly a job after law school. I mean, these are big deals. And the place that I would be working for, or that I have already committed to, doesn't really have that sort of longevity. Like, it would be good experience, but it certainly wouldn't be something that would continue on. So that's something I need to think about. But I don't know. It's just been on my mind, and I've been stressed about it because I don't like letting people down. So we'll see. I inadvertently, came up with a new lesson to share with you guys. So I'll keep you posted on what happens there. So moving on then to what I was going to talk about this week, which is starting the application process. All right, so these are the important things you need to think of. You need to plan ahead for the LSAT because places in or around your town, like test centers, will fill up really fast. I didn't end up getting the one, there was one like on my college campus, but I applied too late, so I would have either had to like drive really far away, and since the test is really early in the morning, you don't want to do that, or I had to put it off, which is what I did. And luckily, there was another exam like before the cutoff for applying to law school. So I did that. Okay, so that's one thing to keep in mind. Plan ahead for the LSAT. Another thing to keep in mind is letters of recommendation. And you want to give your professors, your employers, your family, friends, whatever, you want to give them plenty of time to write them because you want them to write a good one. So there is, you have to do it through the website. I think it's called LSAC, LSAC, I'm pretty sure is what it's called. Because they make sure it's all formal and all that, which is basically just like a piece of paper that gets put with the letter of recommendation that you get from somebody, and then they send it in, so it's all sealed. So you never even get to see it, which is kind of scary, and which is also why you want to pick people that actually like you and will say good things about you. So plan ahead for that. And then if you have trouble writing, then give yourself plenty of time to write your personal statement because it's really the only thing in your application that is going to show like your personality. The rest of it's just grades and numbers, and this is your shot to make them see that you're like a human being who's cool or whatever. So yeah, those are my pieces of advice for the application. I think that's really all you need to know. Oh, another thing that I didn't learn personally, but I learned from the ex I was talking about, who, like, we went through the process together, which is that there are certain colleges that won't give you your transcripts online or through the mail, like the formal transcripts. Like, you actually have to go in and request them. So we had to take this road trip, like an 8-hour drive to one of the colleges that he went to get a transcript. So check into that early and make sure that that's all settled. Um, okay, so then I wanted to tell you the story about when I took the LSAT. Um, I am a worrier in general. That's just how I am. So I was kind of um, anxious about the test and how I would feel under that much pressure, because it really is a lot of pressure. The time constraints, like, you basically get just enough time to do the exam, like nothing extra. So I go in, and there are 4 sections in all, but there are 3 different types of sections they could be. There's logic games, which I think are pretty fun, reading comprehension, and oh shoot, now I can't remember the third one. I think they were like these mini argument things. Wow, sorry about that. I can't remember, but I do remember. There's a really long reading comprehension section. There's the logic problems, and then whatever that last one is. Okay, so every LSAT exam has a practice section. So there will be 3 that are actually counted, and then 1 that's just a practice section, and you won't ever know like which one that is. So for me, there were 2 logic sections, which freaked me out, because even though logic games are fun, they are the ones that take the most time. And if you mess up just like one part of the logic steps, it can, mess up the rest of it. So that made me really nervous. And I started the exam, and I did the first set of logic problems, and I finished with like 4 minutes to spare, which freaked me out even more, because I was like, I shouldn't have any time to spare. So I went through and checked everything, and anyways, after I got the results later, I realized that was the practice, or not practice, the experimental section or whatever. So that's probably why it didn't take me as long. Okay, so moving on. I get to the second logic game section, and I'm freaked out. The time begins, and I all of a sudden I got like extremely nauseous. Like, I thought I was going to throw up. That's how nervous I was. For a good like 45 seconds, I wasn't even looking at the paper. I was just looking terrified, probably, that I was going to mess up this whole exam by, having to run out and throw up or whatever. And so I gave myself like 10 seconds. I just breathed in and out and told myself, like, Sean, it's okay. This is going to be fine. You can do it. And ended up just doing it. And I'm so glad I did, because I think I mentioned in an earlier video, if I hadn't have taken the exam that time, I would have had to like wait a whole another year to go to law school, because that was the last LSAT exam. So a bit terrifying. I don't want to scare too many people off, but just be prepared for how much pressure it is, and whatever techniques you use for handling stuff like that, just be ready, because you never know what's going to happen in there. And yeah. So then I took the exam. I left. I thought, I really hope that I didn't just mess that up with being so nervous and overthinking things. But I got my results, and I was really happy. So that's good too. Oh, so of course I would recommend something that I didn't do, which was that you can take the exam more than once. I've had friends who took it in the summer, and then the summer after their junior year of college, if you're going straight into law school, by the way. But in the summer, and then they take it again in October or whatever, like I did. And it just gives you more than one chance to do well. You can try that. Yeah, so I think that is it as far as the preliminary stuff that I did, for my application. And I'm not quite sure what I'm going to talk about in the next video. Maybe acceptances and qualified acceptances, what I did, how I decided where I was going to go, and things like that. So I hope everyone's having a good weekend, and I'll talk to you soon.